Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I want to talk about quitting hormonal birth control and not getting pregnant. I remember when I first told my sister that I had stopped taking my birth control pill and that I was learning this thing called FAM and that was what I was going to use. And I remember she kind of gave me this look like, you're an idiot. And then I remember she turned to my brother-in-law, her husband, and said, well, get ready to be an uncle, because she did not think it would work. She thought I was crazy. A lot of time has passed since then, and obviously a lot of things have happened and changed since then, but it's kind of an interesting moment to look back on. I just recently celebrated my 5-year anniversary of quitting the pill, and I made a video about that actually, which I'll put up above and down below as well if you want to go watch it. But as I was making that and then kind of afterwards, I kind of got to thinking and I was like, wait a second, I'm doing it. I quit hormonal birth control and I have been able to successfully use FAM as a birth control method for the past 5 years, and that's a pretty incredible thing. And I have to just start by saying, no, this is not me saying that FAM is 100% effective. You are so much smarter than that, blah, 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 blah. The only thing that is 100% effective is not having sex, and we all know that. Charting might not be the thing for everyone, but neither is the pill or the IUD. And I think the most important thing that I can spread and educate people on is there are more options than just the hormonal options that you think of when you think of birth control. We need to be aware of our options, and more often than not, FAM and charting and the sympto-thermal method are not even listed as a viable birth control option. And I hear countless stories of people saying they're trying to find a gynecologist that will support them in learning FAM and using FAM, but they're having so much difficulty in finding a doctor, a gynecologist that will be like, yeah, that works. Let's go down that path. Let me teach you what I know, because they aren't taught about FAM. They aren't taught how to chart and how to make that a safe and effective form of birth control. And that's a shame, and that's something I hope changes. But as for now, more often than not, you're gonna get kind of scoffed at if you tell a doctor that you want to get off of hormonal birth control and try to chart your cycle. There are so many fears that come along with making the decision to get off your hormonal birth control. People are afraid that their cycles are going to be out of whack and erratic and irregular, that our phases are going to break out and just be impossible to clear up and heal without hormonal birth control, that we won't be as free as we want to be with our sex lives, and of course, there is the fear that you will get pregnant if you get off of hormonal birth control. I'm not quite sure why, but people think that charting your cycle and using that as birth control is a crazy thing. They think that it's really complicated and that only super smart people can use this method. Learning about your menstrual cycle and how it works, learning how to figure out when you're fertile and how to use that knowledge to not get pregnant seems like an overwhelming amount of information when you first have it kind of thrown at you. But I think part of that is because during this process of learning and educating yourself about your body and your cycle and your fertility, you're a bit flabbergasted and left thinking, how did I not know this before? How was this not something I was taught? It just seems like common sense knowledge that we should already know when we finally do learn it, however many years down the road. It all might seem like so much information, and it might seem overwhelming and impossible, but I promise it is not. Stay calm, patient, and determined to learn. And that's what I always say, you do not have to be some scientific genius to be able to chart your cycle. All you need is the desire to learn, the curiosity to just know more, and you are more than capable of learning and using the correct information. And I just want to say, believe me, because science was not one of my strong subjects back in school, but there is something about our menstrual cycles and our fertility and this method that it makes so much sense to me, even though there are so many aspects of anatomy and whatever that doesn't make sense or is a bit confusing. Once you learn about how the cycle works and how to chart it and why you chart it that way and why you need to follow these particular rules, it makes sense. And there's this moment a light bulb goes off and you're like, huh, yeah, that's super clear, and it clicks, and it's pretty darn easy after that point. And while it's something you have to be continuously conscious of and pretty strict with, this method becomes almost second nature to you. And the actual process of charting your cycle day to day takes maybe a couple of minutes. In no way is it time consuming or difficult. And now it's time for a little shameless self-plug for myself. So you're sitting here watching this video and maybe you already chart, or it's something that you've been curious about, or maybe you're just learning about it now, and you might find yourself thinking, I'd like to know more. I'd be curious to see if this is something that would fit into my lifestyle and my day-to-day routine, and is it something I actually can do? Well, I've created a course for that. The first course I ever created was Chart Your Cycle. It's one of my most popular ones, and it's one of my favorite ones that I've created so far. Chart Your Cycle is for those new to FAM, new to charting, and specifically new to the sympto-thermal method, which is what I practice and what I teach in that course. It is great, it is simple, it is understandable, and it was relatable, and you get a great foundation of knowledge without being overwhelmed with information, and you have enough and more than enough to go on to start using that as a natural, safe, and effective form of birth control. In the course, I take you through how to check and chart your basal body temperature and your cervical fluid, the guidelines to know which phase of your cycle you are in, the 4 FAM rules, and kind of how to put all of this knowledge together as a form of birth control. I will end my little plug right now, but the link for that is in the description box. Go check it out and sign up. All the time I think about the amazing benefits I have found from ditching the pill, learning about my body, and charting my cycle. And I think it's a pretty incredible thing that I've now used this method successfully for a longer amount of time than I was ever on hormonal birth control. I was on hormonal birth control for 4 years, I believe, and I have now been using the sympto-thermal method for 5 years. So what made you want to get off your hormonal birth control? Did you? And what do you use now? Thank you so much for watching today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you like today's topic. And don't forget to subscribe to FemmeHead for more of me, more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!